robust urban garlic flavor.
Welcome home.
I'm doing good.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Darkside. Phil gets really annoyed and blames the detractors for everything. So yesterday, or the day before the stream, let's be real because it's been a while, somebody in Phil's chat said, hey, maybe you should archive your streams instead of, privating them. And he's like, oh, that's a good idea. But then apparently the next day he's like, oh, the detractors are going to mass flag my channel for reused content or something. Now I can't do it. Yeah. We're just gonna go through this and see how much nonsense it is, because he is really spiraling right now because he has to prove to us that he's successful. But what he doesn't understand is that the reason people give him money is not because he's successful, it's because they think he's a broke bum.
Like, detractors were going to keep harassing people on social media for it, and they didn't want to get flack for it, so they actually had a coder code my dashboard off. So my dashboard was always empty, and I would contact at that time my partner manager from like once a month, and I would say, my dashboard is still empty, I don't understand. And he would say, oh, it has nothing to do with you, you never did anything wrong. This is something that I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct legally, everything was right. And again, it's not, you did nothing wrong, I did nothing wrong. This has nothing to do with me. I did nothing wrong. It's just that we don't have anything for you right now. There's no opportunities for anyone. And of course, then I would go again to my moderators who were partnered in the program and say, do you guys have opportunities? They'd be like, oh yeah, there's this one, there's this one. I don't have any of them. And it was gone forever. Like literally, it never showed up ever again for me. The dashboard was always empty. And then they got rid of my partner manager. So then I had no one to even talk to about anything. So yeah, this is just, again, that's probably what I would say. A few of the things over the years that 100% are affected by my detractors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me remind you that DSP is in a constant state of telling everybody that the detractors do not affect him whatsoever. But guess what? They absolutely do. And like 2 years from now, he's going to say, well, guys, back then I was so worried about the trolls, but now I'm not. And today he's saying he's not worried about the trolls at all. He definitely is.
And it sucks when it happens. Again, it's always something that's not my control. And I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. The game sucks. I can't make a bunch of no-life losers not harass people on like Twitter, right? Like, how do I stop that? I can't. But that's how the system works. All these companies are and they're so beholden to the system that the moment that they get any kind of little harassment, it's like, gee, there's 1,000 people who are sending me nasty messages. Why don't I just block them? No, instead it's, well, let's just cut off the association with the guy who literally did nothing because he has a hate mob that follows him around.
It's because you are the village idiot and you do not comprehend this. Because if anybody actually looks into you from a third-party perspective, they realize, hey, this guy is boring and he begs for money. Like, you don't get that Wings, for instance, does not want to talk to you. It just all completely goes over your head.
You're punishing the person who's being bullied. So you're also bullying the person who's being bullied. How does that solve the problem or make anything better? It doesn't. All it does, it perpetrates more online bullying, but these companies are cowards and don't ever smarten or wisen up. They just say, what's the easiest way out of the problem? Just block the guy, right? Lame as
What our Gowdy Neighborhood 220 doesn't understand is that, yes, there are people that harass DSP's fans, but the majority of the people have actually valid criticisms of Phil and his behavior on stream. And he doesn't understand that his behavior leads to a toxic environment for his community because it attracts people who want to troll him because they see they can get a rise out of him. If he ignored it, 95% of it would go away like that. But the thing is, he can't ignore it because his entire business model is predicated on preying on people and getting them to open up their wallets to him out of pity and manipulation. And that is always going to be feeding the trolls.
So there you go. And that's about it. I would say that's it. That's the limit. Like, I can't really use Patreon, okay, to do much.
He could. He just would have to diversify what he's doing. The reason he says this is like, oh, I can't make like private live streams for whales on Patreon because one person would pay for it and then they'd show it to everybody. That's what he's getting at here. And he doesn't have the imagination or creativity to do anything besides gameplay. You know, the hilarious part of this is in the past he did private react videos, but even for like, I don't know, I think it was $50 a month. That was too much effort for Phil to watch a 10-minute video and give like a 5-minute spiel about it. Yeah.
I can't get any sponsorships or things like that. They'll never work because the online harassment will always persist. I can't stop that from happening.
And this statement is mostly true because the people that would give DSP sponsorships would probably be gaming adjacent or other things that are related to gaming, or even, you know, whatever that company that has like the headphones or the whatever. But they get flack for it because Phil's detractors are like, hey, you know, Phil's a scumbag. So like that game, Tainted Grail or whatever, they left a significant amount of review bombs on the product because DSP got a review copy because he appeared on Asmongold's stream. Yeah, so Phil has a hornet's nest surrounding him that he can't shake because he wants that money from his fans and he needs to get it out of pity, not by being entertaining, because he doesn't know how to be entertaining and he doesn't want to be entertaining. So, you know, Phil is stuck in between a rock and a hard place where he's making over $150,000 a year, or having his fans pay that amount, it looks like. But yet he's still complaining because he's like, oh, I want more. I want more.
And in the case of, for example, a suggestion yesterday where someone says, hey, can you leave your streams archived? And I'm like, I'll do that for you. That sounds like a good idea. And then I can't, because I'm immediately going to get harassed and have problems. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing I can really do about it. So
the reason why he claims he can't do this is because he still wants to upload his garbage playthrough videos of his games and his morning show / podcast after the fact. So he's afraid that his detractors will flag his channel for reuse content. And no, that is not the point of like the reuse content stuff. It's like if somebody posts the same video on 10 different channels, or if they upload the same video 50 times. It's not about somebody chopping up their live streams piecemeal. Okay, so Phil's still gonna use this as an excuse, and he doesn't get that what he's been doing is actually to his detriment, because nobody wants to be bombarded with 8+ videos a day. He would be better off leaving his live stream up and putting timestamps in, and he doesn't understand that he would get more views and watch time doing that, because the algorithm sees, hey, this guy gets a certain amount of views on his live streams, but he's getting less on the on-demand videos. What's going on? This guy must not be that entertaining, so we're gonna throttle his content. And he's posting so much of it, maybe it's just people don't want to see it, so even if we're subscribed to him, we're not gonna see it. He doesn't understand how YouTube works. He just thinks that because he's pumping out 8 videos a day, he's making 8 times the amount of money. It's not if the views are all spread out between them and getting actually less than if they were all put together. Like, say if I chop this video up into 6 different pieces, it would do worse than it being all together, because that's not how YouTube is run. It's about accumulating watch time. He does not understand that. And his streams don't accumulate watch time after the fact because they're live streams. Most of the people watching that product are going to be doing that during the live event. So repurposing it after the fact by chopping it up into 8 different pieces or whatever is a detriment to him, and he will never understand this at all.
you know, but what's remarkable, quite frankly, is that here I am in 2026. I am doing better than I've ever done before, and I mean that. I'm doing better today.
Notice how he was looking down at his computer screen and then immediately looks up when he tells his fans that he's doing better. He's lying right now. That's the tell, because he's prepping himself to make this up to convince his fans, because he thinks he needs to present himself as being successful. What he doesn't get still to this day is that people don't give him money because he's successful. It ain't about that momentum. It's about pity and whether a few whales decide to give money through their sock accounts. Phil does not understand this. He thinks that there is a robust group of supporters keeping him afloat. It's not. So he's here flexing, oh, I gotta present myself as successful, so that means I'm going to have more success. When the reality is, he's getting success out of pity and not much else.
Than I did back in the day when I was popular on YouTube and was getting 10 million views a month. I'm serious. I'm doing better right now than I was doing then. Okay?
So put this into perspective, during that time, DSP was leasing a BMW. Now, it's entirely possible that the Twitch days were more lucrative for him than those early days of YouTube, because remember, most of his content was like 10-minute videos, so there's not a lot of ad rolls on that. If it was 10 million views off of hour-long videos with significant amount of watch time, then there would be no way that DSP's statement would be like, oh, he's doing way better. I kind of really doubt that, especially because I think a lot of the tips he presents are made up. But from what I've heard from creators back then, it was a lot more lucrative in terms of ad revenue than it is today. But the thing is, there may be a grain of truth to this in that Phil has to put a lot less effort into his content to get money. And that may be what he means by that. Because let's be real, he'd rather spend his days panhandling than doing something like Gaming, where he actually has to edit a video and talk about something.
I'm making that abundantly clear. I'm doing it with a fraction of the audience that I used to have. So I want you to think about that.
Yeah, Phil, we don't need to think that hard about it. The people that have been following you for years know exactly what's going on. You are not surviving by having a ton of people watching and accumulating ad revenue. You are surviving by leeching off of a few hand-picked pay pigs that will gladly go bankrupt for you. It's stupid. That's your model. You're like a cam girl with just copious amounts of begging and actually nothing get delivered to your fans. So it's actually worse. They're in a worse position. They're basically paying you for company. And the sort of company you offer is just like, oh, so painstakingly terrible and boring.
How I've persevered through all this idiots are trying to do. You got Wings sitting there on his stream crying that everything's going bad. You got LTG sitting there crying about being demonetized by Kick and everything. I'm doing good.
Yeah, you see Phil here and all his insecurities reveal themselves because he has to convince us that he's on another tier. He's not down with these lolcows. He's not stuck on level 1. He's a successful guy. And to be truthful, he is more successful than Wings and LTG. But he doesn't get that Wings does not want to be the panhandler that Phil is. He just doesn't. And Phil's like, why is it morally or ethically objectionable for me to be begging constantly and demanding my fans pay every last dollar that they have in their piggy banks to me?
I'm doing really good. And I'm grateful and happy that I am. It was a lot of hard work to do it. Because again, the track that stuff was going 6-7 years ago was this way. And I have completely managed to pull it this way.
He doesn't fundamentally understand that the Kino Casino rescued him from the scrap heap, because what happened is that Iron Den Sakai migrated from Kino Casino to DSP and started giving him tens of thousands of dollars. Phil, relying on whales is not a sustainable business model. These like cam girls, they cash out. They do stuff where they're like, hey, can I diversify? Because I don't want to be streaming for 50 years. But Phil's like, oh, I'm going to be relying on the same 5 people for 50 years. Is that really a business? Is that really?
And that's a great thing. And now things are much better for me, my family, for the business, for everything. And that's, it goes hand in hand with you guys sticking it out and persevering through the and or seeing through the, particularly the last couple of years, a lot of people having new eyes on me and saying, what the all that stuff people said about Phil was, he's improved, he's different. It's not what people say anymore, right? This is such nonsense.
Yeah, Phil has been desperately trying to convince us that he's been changed for years. When the reality is, the only real change is maybe he's gotten a little greedier. Phil, nobody's saying, hey, DSP's a really chill, cool, positive guy. I've seen the light. No, those are your whales sending sock accounts to you, or people pretending to like fluff your ego or to mess with you. That's all it is. You are a joke to most people, and you don't comprehend it, because the house of cards would come tumbling down and you'd have a breakdown.
That's completely false. Catch your ban, you idiot. You guys think that he knows what I make. You don't know what I make. None of you know what I make. Not a single one of you on the internet knows what Dark Side Phil makes. You have no clue. At any given moment, we've got a stream going. That stream has ad revenue on it. That stream earns money in the Kick Partner Program. That stream also has super chats, memberships, subs, all coming in. There's tips coming in. You have no clue at any waking moment what kind of money I make. No one.
The funny thing about this whole rant is that he's diminishing the paid support. He doesn't get that the majority, well, he knows. He doesn't get that it's not a good idea to downplay how much his fans give him. Because if he's implying that he makes more money, like more than 150 a stream on Kick and YouTube, he's not. Unless Kick is giving a boatload of money just from the YouTube stuff. No way is he making even $50 on like his marathon streams, for instance. No way. It's about the whales giving him money. He doesn't understand that he is downplaying his supporters. You don't do that because it shows you don't appreciate them. And if you don't appreciate them, they're gonna figure out eventually and stop paying you, even if they are dented. And then you'll have nobody else but yourself. And that's really what's happening right here. You're at the mercy of Only Iced Coffee and Iron Dead Sakai. Yeah, you're not really a successful live streamer. You're a successful whale curator. And even now, if the whales pull out because they're like, it's not worth it anymore, you're done for. You're screwed.
Not anyone but me. I'm the only person that knows what I make. And that's a good thing, because it leaves me in control of my destiny and not a bunch of no-loads on the internet that don't know shit. But they think they know anything? No, I did not make less this year than last year. I'm doing very well for myself right now. It doesn't matter what you want to believe, because reality is different from your very twisted, disgusting fantasy of all the weirdo that you talk about every day in your Yellow Bus Discords, okay?
Yeah, you see here, Phil, this is not making content for your fans. This is making content for your detractors. You are directly addressing them right here.
One idiot. But people are so dumb. They really just don't understand anything. They're that stupid. There's no metric you can follow to figure out what I make. It doesn't exist. There is no metric that you can look at on any public page that will tell you how much money I make. You're an idiot. You're legitimately stupid.
Yeah, but we can make approximations about how much money you get through crowdfunding because you tally it, Kick tallies it, and YouTube tallies it. So yeah, if people want to sit there and count, they can do that. Now the ad revenue and stuff you get behind the scenes, we can't count that, but we know it's less than what you make on your live streams. Let's be real.
And you believe it because you listen to stupid people who, here's the real truth. The people who don't like me are the worst, most gullible, most stupid people, because they follow people who literally lie to them daily, but they believe it because they're gullible and they make these people money. You see, the people who are really the detractors who make the content about me don't care. They don't care if what they say is real or not. They don't care if they made it up or if it's based on truth. All they care about is your view and your contribution.
Phil, most people don't make content about you, they clip you. They are using your own words. They aren't adding anything. It's you. So you're saying you're lying or you're being misrepresented.
So you feed their animal. You feed their system of lies and misinformation. None of it affects me because I'm doing good. But you believe the nonsense and you reward the liars. And then you think that, oh, we got one up on Phil. You didn't get anything on me. I'm good. I'm still good. I'm always good. You're the one who's miserable. You're the wretch who sits there on the internet watching lies all day and paying money to morons. These people are using you and abusing you. They see your mental illness and they take advantage of it. They're exploiting you. They're literally exploiting you this very minute. And you don't get it because you're so dumb.
They There's a lot of projection going on here, and he just loves thinking that he's morally superior to everybody when he doesn't get that people aren't on a crusade to finish him. Well, some people are, and they're wasting their time. Most people think he's a joke and they're there to laugh at him. That's all it is. But he has to make a big deal out of everything.
Twisted Gloomy, I have no idea what you're talking about, but thanks for the money. I'll gladly take your money. I don't berate people who work 9 to 5s. I've been there, I've done that, and I know that it's an awful grind to do. I absolutely hate it, you know, for sure. Here we go, you ready? Ad revenue way down. Wrong, my ad revenue is exactly the same. My ad revenue hasn't changed whatsoever. It's the same. It actually doesn't fluctuate much at all. You always get a boost at the end of the year, and then it dips in January, and then it stays the same the rest of the year. That's a lie. Video on-demand views way down. Wrong. My on-demand views are exactly the same. Every month I get about the same amount of views. There's some peaks and some valleys depending on what I'm doing, but for the most part, they're exactly the same. No change there.
Yeah, with the on-demand views, he's basically been stagnant for the last 2-3 years. It went up when he returned to YouTube, but since then, it's been slowly going downward or staying flat like it is right now. The stream views are down though, because you know, when he bans everybody, they all migrate to raw fill.
Live support way down. Wrong. My live support's doing very, very well, actually, especially since I abolished the goals. I don't talk about goals and all the time. It's actually doing better. But you don't know that because you're an idiot and you listen to the wrong people.
I really haven't been following the money trail in February, but I know in January, Only Iced Coffee hit some financial snag. It hasn't been willing out on Phil as much. And Iron Dent Sakai is basically boycotting giving him massive amounts of money because he wants Truck Sim back. Meaning he had a lesser than expected crowd support in January because the big whales were like, nah.
You get 300 views a video. So that might be the one thing that's correct out of everything you just said, because views are public facing, except you're an idiot and you don't understand that I get views on the YouTube stream, I get views on the Kick stream, I get residual views on the Kick stream because that stays live for a week, and then I get the on-demand views on the individual video. So when you see a video and it's like part 1 of a playthrough, 1,000 views. Yes, that one time was 1,000, but there was views on the original stream, there was views on the Kick stream. I'm getting tons of views on all my content. It's just not all in one place. So you look at that and you say, oh, he only got 300 views. Yeah, except I got paid. So what the f do I care what the views are on the video? I don't.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're getting less views on the videos you post after your stream, it usually is an indicator that the views you get on your live stream are down. And we can see that they've been down. They go down because you chastise people, you ban people, and it hurts your piggy bank. So yeah, you can look back if you have like, I don't know, Social Blade and, you know, pay it for it, which I don't, but he had more views years ago than he does today. And I'm not just talking about like the early 2010s. I'm talking about when he returned to YouTube. Like his Elden Ring playthrough, a significant amount of views because people were laughing at him failing so badly. Now they're like, yeah, I'm just here for the bacon. I'm not here for the gameplay fails. And he doesn't understand that.
My ad revenue is remaining around the same. My overall views are remaining around the same. And my live streams are making tons of money. I'm in the Kick Partner program. I got ad revenue out. You know, I got everything. I'm good. I'm made.
So if you're good, why should people give you $50 a stream when you complain about not getting $150? That's my question, because that is the lifeblood of your business. Whining when you don't get what you want.
I don't have these problems that these other people have. You know, I'm not worried about, oh no, you know, I have to, you know, I hate to say it, but I really feel bad for a guy like Wings, because what he did to his channel screwed him. When he deleted all of his content, and he doesn't have any content basically archived there. So he only makes ever what he makes on a stream. He makes nothing else. And I feel bad about that because he should be earning all that back end and he gets nothing, right? He gets nothing.
Yeah, but the 400,000 views that Phil gets monthly is not keeping a roof over his head. And I don't really think he's getting a ton of watch time retention. So that amount of money that he's claiming to be getting on the on-demand videos are probably less than the average YouTuber that has that amount of viewership.
That's the thing that I've always had, this archive where people will go back and watch the old stuff, but then they watch the new stuff. So at any given moment, there's this big machine working for me in my favor. And Wings doesn't have that. He only has the current live streams. That sucks for him. Like, I feel for him. That's, you know, so it really stings that he doesn't have that. And that's why he's so stressed out on his streams. Like, seriously, that's exactly why.
Let me tell you something. If he demonetized his streams and just relied solely on ad revenue, he would be more stressed out than Wings, and he'd be probably making less money than Wings, because the content is not engaging, as he puts it. People don't want to sit there and stare at a guy who's just staring at a video game on demand. There's no interactivity. There's no typing in the chat. And even if DSP isn't interactive, the people in the chat will just be talking to each other or making fun of Phil. He doesn't get that what he does on stream does not translate to on demand. There's a much higher standard for that. But he's like, I want to put out the same garbage I put out 15 years ago. It's not working that way. And honestly, the garbage you put out actually had commentary. So...
But that's why you have to understand, despite the fact that people categorize me in with these other lolcows, I'm nothing like them. I'm doing much better. And that was purposeful. That was intended. That was by design. And it was a lot of hard work to get to that point, but I'm there. You see?
But it wasn't by design at all. The only reason why he's on Kick is because Kino Casino told him to be on Kick. This wasn't some master plan of Phil. He is just reinventing the past to say that he, you know, king snaked everybody. And he's like, look, I've insulated myself. Yes, we all know you insulated yourself because you've gotten rid of every viewer that doesn't give you money and only rely on the whales. You don't get, that's why there's gonna be a day when all the whales disappear and you've spent all your money because you haven't managed your money well because you're an idiot, and then you have like what, 18 plus years of not working a job. You are going to be in some deep financial trouble once again, and there'll be nobody to whale you out.
Yeah, I know, Roy. He did a $5 super chat and he says, it's sad what these detractors do. You lost mods, your sponsors. You can't leave archive streams. How, you know, yeah. And the thing is, again, they will be like, oh, this is a big W. We won. We did something. What W? I'm just doing exactly what I've been doing and being successful doing all along. Sure, it sucks that I can't do the next cool thing that people wanted. I would have loved to leave the streams archive, but I can't. What can I do? But I'm still good.
Phil, this isn't a new thing. Streamers leave their live streams up for the most part. You are just way behind the times. And you don't get that people want you to stay in the exact same position that you are right now. The only difference is that they want the crowd support to be cut in half because they know that's when the comedy gold really comes into play.
I just keep doing what I was doing anyway. No problem. No negative change for me, but... Right? That's lie. That's so silly because some people are saying, then why would you get upset if support is low on a particular stream?
Because he is entitled and that's his business model. He thinks because he streams, his viewers owe him something. It is this for that. It is transactional. He doesn't get that his existence as an internet cockroach relies on people volunteering to give their money to him. He thinks it's an obligation. It is not. But he conditions his fans to think that it is. So if they really think so is a question that is still out there. He runs a very weird streaming setup.
Just because support is low on one particular stream does not end me. Okay? It doesn't. But if you're someone who operates a business and you want to be successful, you want to be successful all of the time. Now, it's not possible to be, but you still want that, you know? And there's nothing wrong with wanting success all the time.
But there is something wrong berating your audience and crying about it every single time it happens. You don't understand that. And that's why you are the village idiot, the town laughingstock. Congratulations.
If anything, this year, I'm in a situation where I'm purposefully setting myself up that I know I won't be successful all the time.
But didn't you just tell us like 5 minutes ago you've been more successful because you've gotten rid of goals? Like you're contradicting yourself all the time.
I'm trying indie games that may or may not work. I'm trying new things, new genres of games. I'm breaking out and trying I'm trying Deadlock. My God, can you talk about anything a little bit so different from what I normally would play? Right? I'm doing Lego streams. I'm doing things that are outside the box of the content that I was known for doing for so long. There's going to be streams that don't go well, and that's okay as long as we balance them with streams that do go well.
Yeah, but you've been doing these Lego streams, Grandpa, for like the last year or so. Like, this is all deflecting and not talking about the actual issue. You whining when you don't get enough money. You begging when you don't get enough money. That is the issue. Not, oh, it's this game. Oh, it's that game. Oh, it's something that I'm not going to be successful doing. You don't get that. You don't, or you don't want to face that reality.
There's nothing wrong with that at all, right? That's fine. But when you run a business, and maybe one day some people who don't get this will get it if you ever get to this level, right? If you have something that's your own and you're working it from the ground up and you're busting your butt, you want to have success at every moment you can.
Everybody gets that, you idiot. That's not what they're talking about. You can want something as much as you want. That's absolutely fine. The issue is complaining and chastising your audience when that success doesn't come. You're putting all the responsibility and the obligation on them, when the reality is it's supposed to be on you. But he's like, oh guys, I didn't beg hard enough, so I didn't hit the goal. Like, he has said that, essentially. For example, when he quit Truck Sim at the end of August, he was like, oh, I got too distracted singing and things like that. I forgot to constantly remind people that I still need money. Yeah, that's what he really said.
You don't want to have a time when you're not successful. That sucks. It feels like you spun your wheels. You didn't get the outcome you desired or you were working toward, and that's very frustrating. It doesn't mean that the world is ending because you had a single day when things didn't go your way, but it sucks.
Phil should replay this snippet every time he ends a stream and the goal is not hit, and every time he sets up his stupid daily rap videos and tells people he didn't make enough money. Just no self-awareness whatsoever.
Even someone who's running an insanely successful business, a restaurant, a Fortune 500 company, or a lemonade stand, right? If you have a day when things suck, it still sucks. You still feel it. And particularly when you're a self-employed person, you own that business, it hurts more because that's your baby, right? It's not like you're a cog in a machine and you're, oh, who cares if the big corporation fails today? It's my business.
Yeah, but Phil, if the big corporation fails, you're out of a job. So you're gonna need to find more employment. You don't understand that. Let me remind everybody that this guy consistently streams 12 times a week. So he can afford to have like 3 of those go not up to his expectations. But he's like, no, I'm gonna whine and complain every time until I get it 100%, and my 5 loyal pay pigs are not gonna be able to buy themselves dinner because I take all their money. That's how he operates. Like, this is all designed to give him pity. You gotta make sure he's successful, not the other way around by him actually offering you a good product. What he's selling you is a bunch of magic beans.
I want my business to do well every day, and it should. And if it doesn't, it's disappointing, and that's okay.
Why should it be successful every single stream, Phil? Because you want it to? You have to offer something. You have to give something. You owe your audience, not the other way around, you idiot. This is yet again just another woe is me, give me money self-pity.
Right? But I tell you guys all the time, the sky is not falling. If we have 1 or 2 bad streams, it's okay. We just can't have it be a pattern. If we have a game that all of a sudden is not performing anymore, we'll move on to other things that will do well. Because that's how you're successful in a business or in life in general. You focus on the things that work and you give up on the things that don't. You don't just keep working on the thing that doesn't work. As much as I would like to keep playing Call of Duty right now, it ain't gonna work. I give up. I'll play the next one and give it a shot. But that's how you can work. And again, maybe that's the problem with a lot of people. They focus on the wrong things. They focus on raw views, or they focus on this factor or this aspect, this metric. I think I found it. It took me a long time, but I think I found that balance that things are working, and I'm happy for it. Okay?
What balance are you talking about? You've been live streaming for like 12 years. It's been the same formula since then. You're just trying to pull the wool over everybody's head. This is just nonsense. Nonsense. There is no balance. It is entirely reliant on a few people spending a truckload of money on you. That's all it is. That is the system you have in place. And it's not because you're entertaining, positive, meaningful, or any other stupid buzzword you use every single time on your stream. It's because they think you're a joke or they think you're somebody that needs to be pitied. That's all it is. You are a lolcow. You are just as much on the same tier as Wings and low tier God. It's just that you make more money than them usually because you are much better at debasing yourself and manipulating your audience into giving you money. So congratulations for that. I hope that all the money you burned on stupid mobile games and Jin made your experience so much better, because when the tips finally dry up, you're not going to have anything else to fall back on, Chief. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. This is Robust turning off the 220 station.